rewriting women throughout history, how a primordial dragon goddess was turned into a monster, and why. First, we must remember that history is not written by the innocent or naive. It is written by those who seize power and then justify that power through story. Myth has always been one of humanity's most effective tools for shaping reality, not because it is false, but because it teaches people what to fear, what to honor, and what to forget. Few figures illustrate this more clearly than Tiamat, the ancient Mesopotamian dragon goddess, whose image was not merely misunderstood over time, but deliberately altered, inverted, and weaponized by the cultures that replaced her. What survives today is not the original Tiamat, it is a version shaped by conquest. Who was Tiamat before the distortion? In the earliest layers of Mesopotamian cosmology, Tiamat was not a demon or embodiment of evil. She was the primordial salt sea, the generative matrix from which God's forces and forms emerged. She represented existence before hierarchy, creation before law, and becoming before control. She was not chaos in the modern sense of disorder. She was actually pre-ordered. Tiamat was the living womb of differentiation itself, the deep waters from which all structure eventually arises. To linear and finite thinking, this seems difficult to fathom. In the worldview of Tiamat, being a representation of the living womb of differentiation, chaos was not opposed to creation. It was the condition that made creation possible. The myth changed after power shifted. The violent reframing of Tiamat occurred alongside the rise of centralized city-states, kingship, and sky god dominance. These emerging systems of power faced a fundamental conflict. You cannot build an empire on obedience while honoring a goddess who represents uncontainable sovereignty, cyclical creation, and power that does not submit. So the myth was rewritten. Tiamat was transformed from mother into monster, from source into threat, from cosmic womb into something that had to be destroyed. In the story, Marduk and the slaying of Tiamat, which resulted in the creation of the world from her body, is presented as a heroic act. Mythologically, however, this story encodes a very specific message. Order is achieved through the violent subjugation of the primordial feminine. This narrative was not created for spiritual enlightenment. It was created to legitimize rule. There is nothing heroic about this story, and if anything, it went directly against the natural order, and was one of the many steps taken to invert our society. So, why did this happen in this way? Older goddess-centered cosmologies emphasized cyclical time, relational power, and reverence for nature as a living authority. Emerging empires and religion required a different foundation. They required linear progress, centralized control, obedience to law, and divine justification for conquest. Tiamat represented a form of power that could not be legislated, conquered, or owned. She could only be entered, honored, or merged with in the way of embodiment through resonance, not by forceful taking through entitlement or parasitism. That kind of power does not serve empires, so she was not erased, she was demonized. A demon can be defeated. A goddess must be revered. Who was involved? This was not the act of a single villain or culture, but of interlocking systems of authority, priestly classes aligned with kingship, scribes codifying oral traditions into official canon, and sky god cults replacing earth and sea deities all participated in reshaping the mythic landscape. Myth became political infrastructure. By vilifying Tiamat, domination could be framed not as violence, but as cosmic necessity. What was the end game? The ultimate goal was severance, to sever humanity from instinctual wisdom, to sever people from comfort with transformation and death. To sever reverence for the wild, the unknown, and the feminine depths of existence. When the primordial feminine is framed as monstrous, people learn to fear their own inner oceans. This pattern repeats again and again throughout history. Tiamat becomes Lilith. Lilith becomes Medusa. Medusa becomes the witch. The witch becomes the monster. The monster becomes something to be bound, burned, or silenced. The archetype remains the same, only the name changes. It is the villainization of a power which cannot be owned or manipulated. True power and sovereignty will not bow to artifice, and so it had to be demonized for empires and patriarchy to stand a chance. This is because patriarchy is a form of compensation created by severance from the very thing it cannot control. So, who is Tiamat? Beneath the distortions, Tiamat remains what she has always been. She is the living threshold. She is the intelligence of deep waters. She is creation before language. She is destruction as mercy. She is sovereignty without permission. Tiamat is not chaos as disorder. She is the oceanic memory of how worlds are born. She is truth, and truth is dangerous and chaotic to a society and culture precariously upheld by lies. Those who fear her do so not because she is evil, but because she cannot be owned. And power that cannot be owned has always been turned into a monster. The same demonization that has been done to Tiamat has been done to many others throughout history and myth. This includes the myth of the dragon itself. As something to be slain, reduced to a creature that is more based and stripped of its divinity. When we realize the truth and stop falling for false narratives designed for domination, and return to nature and co-creation, vitality will be restored.